There might be good news for mango lovers. This tropical fruit may lower diabetes risk. Hello and welcome to The Print. This is Akanksha Mishra and you're watching Scientifix, where I will be taking you through this week's top science news across the world. A new study by George Mason University in Virginia, US has studied mangoes and the sugar content in them in the context of diabetes risk. While thinking is that any high sugar foods are naturally not conducive for diabetes and blood sugar, the scientists found something different altogether in this experiment. The study said that mangoes might actually be protective for people living with prediabetes. In an experimental setup, the researchers compared two groups. One who consumed 11 grams of sugar in a granola bar every day, and another that consumed 30 grams of sugar in a fresh mango every day. They found that the mango group actually had better blood glucose control, better insulin sensitivity, and reduced body fat as compared to the other group. The study explained that this was because of the way that sugar is packaged. So it's not just overall sugar content, but also natural and artificial flavors and packaging that matters. The granola bar might have less overall sugar, but a fresh mango is packed with vitamins and fibers that are beneficial for the body. Next up, we might be one step closer to having holograms on our phones. That's right, a team from the University of St. Andrews in Scotland has created building blocks of holographic technology using two novel techniques: organic light emitting devices or OLEDs and holographic metasurfaces or HMs. So traditionally, holograms are made using lasers. We see them all the time during concerts or music festivals where holograms are projected onto the sky or on empty spaces at night. But lasers are expensive and bulky, which means that holograms remain inaccessible for wider usage. Now, by using OLEDs, which are basically thin film devices which are used for color displays in smartphones, this problem of accessibility of holograms is reduced. The scientists combine these OLEDs with holographic metasurfaces, which are basically structures that bend and shape light to form holograms. This combination now allows for a single OLED pixel to project an entire holographic image, which makes it possible to have compact holographic displays for everyday devices like phones and tablets. For our next story, we find that babies who grow up in houses with dogs have lower chance of developing childhood asthma. This is because the kind of allergens that are found around dogs and the exposure to these allergens could be beneficial in developing a stronger immune system in babies. So this observational study, which will be presented at the European Respiratory Society's Congress in Netherlands this week, looked at over 1,000 children in Canada, and it measured the kind of allergens that were present in their house when they were 3 months old. They looked at houses with dogs and cats and with no pets at all. They also measured blood and other genetic risks of these children to see how predisposed they are to asthma. A few years later, when they went back to assess their lung function and asthma risk, they found that babies with exposure to the dog allergen CAN F1 had 48% lower risk of asthma as compared to others. And this was even seen in children that are already predisposed to asthma. So cat allergens and other bacteria exposure did not show any such benefits. Finally, to end on a sobering note, a study by Queen Mary University of London has found that the average listener can no longer distinguish between real voices and deepfake or AI voices. For this study, researchers used real voice recordings and two types of synthetic or AI-generated voices. One of clones mimicking specific individuals and other voices from a large AI model without a human counterpart. The results were quite shocking. Most participants said that the fake AI model voices were more dominant and even more trustworthy than the real voices. These findings show that voice synthesis tools have advanced so quickly, and now they require only a few minutes of recordings, very little expertise, and minimal cost to produce these deepfakes. The authors warned of ethical and security risks, especially including impersonation and fraud. That's all we have for you today. Thank you for tuning into The Print.